Good day everyone, welcome to another weekly trade recap on GBPJPY. Sorry I couldn't do a trade recap on GJ 2 weeks back because I wasn't able to catch this trade, like there was no pullback. But the analysis I made was accurate. As you can see, price did pull back into this level and went all the way to TP. Yep. But it happened that market opened and there was no retracement, so I couldn't capitalize on it. And yeah, so this was a trade for the week of the 9th of March. So the analysis was accurate. So we moved to, I did take a trade, but it was on USDJPY, and it was a turbo trade. I'm going to show you why I said it was a turbo trade. Because this was the trade on USDJPY. I actually didn't make the analysis thoroughly because this was analysis I made, and as you can see, UJ is in an uptrend, but I did not check. I wasn't on my system, and I didn't even look at TradingView, so I just saw this rejection, and it was actually on the hourly, if you scale. So this was the rejection I saw right here. I saw this rejection at this point, and then I thought, oh, we could have sells, but missing the overall higher time frame move, which is an uptrend. So I got stopped out, although price started dumping, but yeah, I got stopped out because it was supposed to be an uptrend. So this was the trade I took that week in place of the trade on GBPJPY that we missed out on. So back to GJ for this past week. So yes, sorry for all of this. So this was the trade for GBPJPY. On Monday, price did not retrace. I think I'm going to be going in on market execution right now because a lot of times limit orders haven't really worked. Like, it doesn't retrace, so I'm just going to go for market execution this coming week for Monday. So this was Monday. And yeah, price moved in our direction at this resistance level, as you can see, which we would have had profit on, but obviously price was going to come down to take out the week's low, which it did. It took the low out. I'm just gonna take this off to get a better view. Alright, so without taking the fact that we're in an uptrend on the hourly, on the 4-hour, uptrend on the 4-hour, uptrend on the daily as well, and on the weekly. So I saw that and I was like, okay, cool. We're still bullish, although there's this bearish momentum right here. But you can notice that there is a pattern. So price didn't closed beneath this trend line, which is also important. So I had the trend line marked out. When price came to it, which was here, it didn't close beneath it. So on the 4 hour as well. So I scaled to the 2 hour time frame, and I started placing, after this, I started taking like orders from here. I had a market execution order here at this level, this was my first entry. First 3 entries, then this was the second and third, then this was the fourth, and this was the final entry right here. So I think there was like, I had to open 6 positions on GBPJPY. So as you can see, this was a liquidity sweep, and it came into this support level. Should I say demand level? Yeah. You can see there was a demand level right here. A demand level here on the 2 hour, and also a support level right here. So we had 2 things confirming the trade. There was the previous demand level that you can see when it was at the demand level here, price normally it pushed higher when it was at the demand level, and it is a previous demand level, and we've always seen price rally, like from the previous one, price push higher. When it came back to it, it pushed higher. So we've always seen price rally whenever it comes to the demand level. So the demand level is very, very strong. Very, very strong demand level. So we had this demand level here, and then price kind of started rallying, and then I entered off here, first 2 positions, but then price came back down to take out this liquidity, still respecting the demand level and the support level, still respecting it, and it gave a liquidity sweep one, but I was already in the trade, but I just placed my limit. This was the final entry right here, which was a limit. I was like, if price should come down all the way, just put the limit entry right there. And price actually did come down, activated the limit, and started pumping. Considering I had a couple of early entries, this entry was kind of the best. The last entry was the cleanest, and it gave more, considering it was, should I say, a sniper entry, but limits though. So yeah, price closed clean like this. So I'm going to scale to 30 minutes for us to see better. So you can see liquidity sweep, demand level respected, trend line as well respected. I'm just gonna take some of this off because my chart is kind of looking trashy. Okay, so we have a liquidity sweep and an entry, and while I was in this trade, I marked out this level. When I had the first couple of entries, I wanted price to close above this red line, indicating like, okay, a strong break of structure to the upside, but it didn't, and it only pushed lower, and then I added more positions, something I should have been doing because it's a losing trade, sort of, but I had oil confluence, and it was a demand level, support level, and I was targeting this resistance here. As you can see, the red line is the resistance. You could also see when it came to the resistance level, it reacted off it and dumped back to the demand level. But I'm thinking price could still go lower, probably back to this previous red line, and then push higher. But it could also come back here because this is a demand level on the 30 minutes though. So price came down, activated. You can see there was a fair value gap, but there's this fair value gap right here and order block, and that was why I added more position at this level right here. So price came into it, push lower liquidity sweep, and we had a clean 1:4 risk to reward. Trade was actually clean, and also so I traded twice this week on 2 different pairs. This was Thursday/Friday's trade on GBPJPY because I had the entries on Thursday, like I think later in the day, somewhere around 4 p.m. So we went into the next day. TP got hit in the morning on Friday. Considering that there was a TP got hit at what time? At 8:30 London Open. Considering there was JPY back holiday, price was kind of choppy. You could see how it reacted. It started rallying at this point, but then closed like this. But considering that it already closed above this line, I just left the trade, and it was a clean ass trade. So yeah, we had a win last week on GBPJPY, and also first time ever for me, I had a win on UJ. Is this the one I use now? No. We had a win on USDJPY. We had a win on UJ right before this dump happened. I got into a buy right here. Why did I get into this buy? Well, considering that we were in an uptrend, but I didn't hold the buy for long. This is where I got out. So it was a 1:1.64 risk to reward. Oh, sorry, 1:2.28. Because I got out early because of how the 30-minute candle closed, and also the hourly. How the hourly closed, because technically it looked like a liquidity sweep right here, and also it was on a resistance level, and I was like, nah, I'm out. But price pushed higher, took out this resistance as well, because this resistance was actually my all-time, like where I was actually targeting. But price could come to is UJ. One thing is USDJPY. This pairs like it rage baits a lot, so whatever profit you get, just secure it and get out. So that was why I didn't hold on all the way to this TP. But eventually it was a clean trade, so we had to win this week, and yeah. You can see UJ has already broken structure. So maybe a pullback into one of these levels. There's a fair value gap here. But if it pulls back into this level, I ain't really seeing it though. There's an hourly demand level here, and also another one here. So we fill one of these and then push higher. So you look out for those ones. Yep, even on the 2 hour there's a demand level here. So fill this and then push higher. And then that's like my analysis for the week on UJ. The uptrend continues. Then on GBPJPY as well, the uptrend continues as well, because you can see on the 2 hour there's this demand level, so maybe it pulls back to this and or this red line, one of them. But yeah, that's that on this week trades analysis. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Appreciate y'all. Peace.